Good morning. Good to be back. Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. Get started in a few minutes. What's up, guys? We're back. Are we ready to get it? Wixie's ready. Good morning, good morning. Yes, sir. The market is alive. We're back. I think we moved the range of the entire last week in 30 minutes. So the market is back, and we're back. Give a few minutes for people to get in here. Welcome, welcome. We're back. What time is it? Yeah, London hour trade. We just kind of woke up out of the slumber right here today, Tuesday, January 3rd. Woke up out of the slumber, so it may not give a setup, as the market is just kind of coming off like a reset here. We'll take a look, but our levels are already kind of wacky because of this opening move as far as the London hour. We'll mark it up and see, but logically, I could see not taking it today. We don't, I'm not looking to sell and chase this suddenly, and so on. But we will see. Boring, yeah. Holidays were fine. Yeah, got a little boring, yeah. I had a couple of things to do. It wasn't so bad. Good to be back, though. Bank holiday, Japan today. Okay. Let's check the news. Mr. Grayling. Morning. Happy New Year. We're on it. We're back. What do we got? No high impact news. Oh, 1 second. Got to turn the coffee machine off, or else it just burns that little bit that's left in there. No high impact news today. I don't see the holiday that you mentioned there. Whatever. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Bank holiday, Japan. Deepak, okay, your name is now Tigar. Tigar? Tiger. Happy New Year. Hello, hello. You gonna ask me why? I was just messing with you. So the market woke up out of its slumber. Right on cue. Just for us. And see where things are headed. This is driven by, and watch the last video, which explains this stuff. I made a new video. This is driven by U.S. dollar strength. All right, so we're dropping against the strong U.S. dollar as the market wakes up from the slumber. You tend to kind of have your charts really big because, things went into such a small range. So, it's like, do that. We're awake again. Just looking at what the yen is doing. Get rid of my old drawings. I'm just getting back into it right now. We have our levels for the London hour trade. And on a day like today, it might be one of those, let's just let the market warm up and see kind of situation. But, and again, also with background, we're finally past everything, but we have that, quiet period behind us as far as background, storyline, VSA, background, Wyckoff phases, whatever you want to apply to your big picture storyline, right? We're just waking up. Beginning of the day. It's not much of a story. I'm not going to take too seriously, what I see back here. Maybe there was weakness before this down move, whatever, right? I'd rather just go off of now that we're finally moving. Again, this is like the range of the last 2 weeks just happened in like 30 minutes. So, whatever's going on now and where it leads and the information we get now is going to really matter. I mean, we can have basic levels marked up, but beyond that, we're kind of just waking up. Looking at our big picture, it was the weak U.S. dollar. Bullish environment there for the last couple of months, and we just kind of went to sleep up there. We actually hit some weakness, and then that was it for the year. So if we're moving down, we'll see how things react down here. At least we're not dealing with, sitting in this old range, which is nice. We're on our way. The pound, testing that support. But yeah, weak U.S. dollar, everything trending up against it was where we left off in the big picture. Yen pairs all trending down. Strong yen. But certainly that dollar is not weak now. So far. So let's see where things lead. That's where I am with everything. Soon enough, we'll be back to our regular analysis that we usually start with, identifying the phase, Wyckoff speaking, accumulation, distribution, markup, all that. The high volume points, what do they mean? Where's smart money position from? What are they doing? But we start off today with some serious activity, so we'll take it from there. Long entry euro dollar, says asks Wixie. I wouldn't even think about it while price is dropping like this. It wouldn't even cross my mind. Are you saying because of all this volume? But this candle closed at the low, and the reaction is lower prices. I would not even think about it right now. It's how do I get short safely? You know what I mean? If we look at the 5-minute, okay, you have some strength, but that is London Open spike, and that volume's always high that time of day. So that doesn't mean much either. And before that, we saw low prices on low volume, medium volume. So I would say that's a little presumptuous there. You know what I'm saying? Did you forget about the London Open volume spike that you can't trust? Well, it's actually not London Open. It's the second hour. I'm mistaken. It's the second hour. This was the London Open spike. But seeing the reaction, yeah. The fact is that it's hanging out at the low. There's no rejection. So, it's very premature. I wouldn't be thinking about that yet. But no, what am I saying? That's an hour in, so yeah. But yeah, I'd be looking for fib retracement, scalp entry, short. If we do turn around on huge volume, we see an imbalance to the upside, fine. We'll consider that. But yeah, a bit of demand came in, but it's extremely bearish. And we're not having any confirmation of strength. London hour trade, I suppose, is a bad breakout. So that's a bit too much volume. I'm not taking it today. I'm not risking real money on that. Well, the market is just waking up. But I wouldn't go short on that volume anyway, so you can just observe it. But under the circumstances, having the market go to sleep, and now just woke up and having this move, it's kind of like that's all you got. I'd like to see a few moves, you know what I mean? There could be high volume strength that doesn't stop it. It could, it's not really like, is there accumulation at this level? Where are we? It's just kind of figuring itself out. I think we'll get higher probability stuff once we see where this bottoms out, see what happens on the way up. We get a bounce, put a couple of things together, right? So, ideally, it's, for me, like, if I was trading by myself, I would just wait. What does the market want to do next? It's not going to drop forever. How is it going to bottom out? And again, like, what's going to happen on any sort of little up move? Is supply going to come in on a test and so on? So, but I'm here, of course, on time, and we'll see how things go. I'm looking forward to eventually having our regular situation in the background where we get to start off the session, marking up the phases and the levels. I mean, there's some stuff I can draw on here, but didn't really care about that fib, did it? No. I feel like it's got to reestablish kind of what it wants to do. I'm really not even just worried about any background analysis. Let's get a couple of moves, right? Where does this bottom out? How does it bottom out? Go from there. Why is the market starting like this? Nobody asked me. I'm just asking. I don't care why. Kind of popped into my head. Why are we doing this just right off the bat here today? The first kind of really regular day. Because, having New Year's Eve on the weekend, it was like observed on Monday, which is weird. But January 2nd was the day off. So it's really today is the first day, the first non-holiday day, actually today, January 3rd. Weird, but that's what it is. So we'll take it as it comes. Again, as far as the London hour trade that we'd be looking for right now, my plan was really just to observe. If there was anything great and really clean, really good, maybe, but under the circumstances, let things move around a bit. And judging what it is now, that breakout to the downside has a bit too much volume to be going short, right? If you know the setup, I have a video explaining it on my channel, London hour trade. That's too much volume for the short anyway, right there. And as far as the long, it's kind of medium volume, right? It's not decisive. It's not high or low. It's somewhere in the middle. And on the pound yen, again into new low ground where we get an opportunity to get that set up. Again, it's medium, right? It's like a bad short and a kind of bad long if it does the fake break pattern. It's not terrible. You got some strength on there. I mean, obviously with that, the long entry would be better than a short as far as if you're looking for this particular trade. But that hasn't even confirmed either way yet. Welcome, welcome. The market just woke up. It'll tell us what it wants to do. What do you think, Wix? Wixie, you taking the London hour long if this closes as a fake break? I would have liked higher volume on that, but if you had to save it, is it high or low volume? It's high. It's higher than the previous three. It's had a very quick potential fake break here if this closes in. Well, I know it didn't confirm yet. I'm wondering if you're looking to take it or you're just observing today. Just curious. Yeah, it looks like the fake out, yeah. Which is like, okay, the market wakes up, it drops, and then we're just going to pick a bottom and buy. Small risk? Okay. That's reasonable. I like your level-headedness. Small risk, huh? Now, is the pound the reason for this bounce, or is it just this US dollar turning? We would want the pound to show some sort of strength in general, which it is to some extent here, depending on what this does. If we get that bounce. But this looks a little more US dollar driven than pound driven. So, like on this long here, you'd be really betting on this going on the generally to make the trade move rather than a real pound up move that we see happening at this time. It is to some extent. Here it is versus the CAD, which, this stuff I'm just looking around. Euro dropping against a stronger pound, to some extent, barely. Small risk, you say, huh? We'll see how this closes in a minute. Not even. I mean, with a fake break pattern with some strength here, you're likely to test the 14 EMA. That's, 30 pips away. Yeah. Very, very small risk. Warm-up trade. Let's call it a warm-up trade then, maybe. Yeah. Take a quarter of your max risk. Max risk is whatever percent. Do 1/4 of that. Well, there's technically a confirmed entry. Are we doing this? I like the small risk idea. Maybe I'll do that. Do we trust the pound strength? Look at the pound yen, though. We'd really need this to come down as part of the cause of this. Am I seeing pound strength overall? It's tough against the yen, but that yen is so strong. That's the thing. But it would be nice if the pound was stronger, and then we'd know really that we have pound strength running the show. I haven't entered anything yet, even though that confirmed the long entry. Again, this goes back to the last video I made, which I'm glad I made, and I can just refer to that. What's driving your trade? And at this point, it should be the pound looking strong generally at this time of day for that pound trade, London hour trade. So not so much, right? Look at that. The pound is not the focus. The pound strength, not a focus here. I'm staying out of that for now. If we generally see an up move on the pound, or maybe, this hitting high volume strength and coming back up, right? Generally seeing strength on the pound, that would make this much more trustworthy. But right now, it's really just hoping that that US dollar index comes down, and it's not quite good enough for me. So this is more like, well, if this bounces, all the dollar pairs are going to bounce, right, to some extent. So you can see it's really US dollar driven there as you go through the dollar pairs. So, I mean, you could be buying the pound dollar, but you could also be buying AU or EU, right? What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm not entering anything on that right now. As far as an actual reversal, if this is the bottom and we move up, we test the 14 EMA and things, we get a read on the supply-demand balance. We certainly hit some volume off of here, but we don't have much of a reaction as far as a rejection of the level. And really confirming strength, yeah, a bit. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how generally things are looking, what it communicates. But of course we have the London hour trade, which we're observing. We have the scalp method. Pending moves, we're able to scalp and get in there. And of course the main bullseye trade, based on the background analysis, which we don't have much of because of the fact that the market is just warming up again. So not really, again, plotting that until, I'm sure in the next couple of days we'll have that. Maybe by tomorrow, just working off of what's going on today. We'll have some sort of established background. News-wise, not much going on. Some pound news in 12 minutes. Light impact. Light impact today. Tomorrow, U.S. Late day stuff, volatility. So the U.S. dollar is going to get its background together by tomorrow, most likely off of that, if not sooner. Oh, it's the first week of the month, so we have non-farm. Yes, of course. It's all about the U.S. dollar this week. Okay, and we start off today with the U.S. dollar action. So yeah, all about the U.S. dollar this week. Nobody else really has high impact news, do they? All about the U.S. dollar, which is good. We want that to drive things and know what the heck it's doing. Give me 1 second. Okay. not convincing on that pound strength. So I'm not taking the London hour trade. No direct strength on the pound shown. Besides that, but that's dollar driven, so it's not directly the pound. Best piece of information we can get is to test this 14 EMA. Off that bit of strength, US dollar reversal action. Or if we continue down and we don't see strength, that'll say we're continuing to be bearish. So I'm really just looking for the next move, whether it's 14 EMA test telling us about supply, selling, or it's new low ground, telling us about demand. And so we'll get the next piece of information as we're just warming up, waking up. No rush. Never a rush. I'm happy to be in the routine again. Holidays are weird, right? I like routine. Boring old routine is fine with me. So just warming up. If we move up, we'll get some info, especially 14 EMA. If we move down, we'll get some info, especially new low ground. Put together a bit of an understanding of what's going on, supply demand wise. Wixie, yeah. We like the routine, right? Quite a move. It made our old range just look. Look at that. Again, it's like the whole entire range of a week or two. Just as the market opened. We're back quick. Oh, that's nice. We don't have to warm up here. UJ 5-minute sell. I don't really trade UJ, but sure. That's something clean and good. Sell. Based on what? What would be your reasoning for that? Usually I really just look at what the dollar and the yen are doing relative to each other. I don't trade it very often. But as far as how I trade, I don't see a sell entry there. One hour weakness. Is this your first time attending? Just kind of wondering if I know you or not. The 1 hour weakness, which could confirm this still has 35 minutes left to confirm weakness. And if a 1 hour says weakness, I'm not getting in just because of that. But yes, it may confirm weakness on the 1 hour because the that high volume. But you have to see the reaction, which still has half an hour to go. It's technically as far as confirming or not. And then from there, I'd be on smaller time frames looking for an entry. But I don't really trade UJ. I'd rather them drive the other pairs. Dollar and the yen. Wixie, you lost electricity and you're back. Okay, cool. You missed a 20 pip scalp, Wixie. I'm just kidding. We're already up for the day. I was going to call it a day. No, I'm just... But yeah, I'm actually just waiting for things to communicate a couple of moves, see where we're at. Just woke up out of its slumber. Very welcome. Oh, my mic is muted. Okay. How'd that happen? Okay. Well, what I was saying is, this is the bullish scenario. Like we were mapping out in the last sessions for the end of the year. Mapping out the intense 5-minute analysis and the basically bullish and bearish projections. So in this case, if we're talking about the bullish projection, because we did have some strength, and let's see if we have an imbalance of lack of supply, which would be tested here on low volume. And if we continue off of that test here, it's likely going to fib, right? We could also have a bearish scenario, which, for example, we get here and we get high volume rejection right off of the test here, or we also see it just behave sort of like a scalp, where we certainly, can't break this thing and start to pull away. But also, especially if it has weakness, then we're likely trying to break the low, and that becomes a projection. And from there, of course, we continue with, if we're bearish, that it would be maybe a break test. We wouldn't see too much demand coming in, and we continue, right? So it's all the stuff we know, but you could always do that based on the template, right? Template is the guideline. It doesn't always happen, but you may get 2-3 moves that do match the template, and then when something changes, that tells you bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish, or update the template, right? London hour. You took it, Wix? The pound, is it convincingly strong? I think you got the U.S. dollar dropping. You may have a winning trade for the wrong reason. Right trade, wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, if this is going up, the pound dollar's going up, then this is going up, and this is going up. Yeah. Right. So you're really just picking a bottom after, not waiting for the test of supply. Just reversing, bam. To catch the falling knife, almost. You're not, okay, yeah. It's not really the London hour, because look at the pound yen, right? And the euro, is that dropping on a strong pound? Well, not much, a little bit. It's not that the pound is weak, but it's not particularly strong, and it's not creating the setup, right? You know what I'm saying? The U.S. dollar created that setup. Again, watch that last video I posted, whenever that was, a few days ago. Explains what's driving your trade. This should be driven by the pound. So I think, on this bounce, you would have had as good of a chance buying anything against the U.S. dollar. Yeah, the London hour trade has always been based on, at that time of day, there seems to be a decision made on the pound as to where it's going to go, based on that first hour's action, sort of the result. And so it's definitely something that the pound should be active and creating, rather than, in this case, this fake breakout, right? This was created by a weak U.S. dollar. And the pound wasn't really behaving. There wasn't really any correlation that the pound was actually strong at that time. So, it's the weak U.S. dollar, and that's why you see everything moving up against the dollar. But the pound itself, right, here's the pound yen, no bounce there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's a bit of strength on the pound, but that's not the cause of this setup in particular. But here's our 14 EMA test. But that's what should be driving the trade, yeah. That last video I posted hopefully explains it pretty well. So we were saying, right, this is the 14 EMA test. So this is showing us telling us about supply, sellers. We figured it was going to get there. There it is. And typically, even though it looks like it may blow through here, typically it doesn't. It's going to stop. You may get another candle just sitting here, another bar, just a little doji or something in here, right? As the buyers are pausing and testing for sellers, testing for supply. If we're going to be bearish, we're not going to be able to really get through this level. We'll start to come back down. And particularly if we have weakness, they're very, very likely to come down. If we sort of float on through here with no issue, especially in the low volume, then we have that projection. So it's pretty specific as far as into the fib zone here. If we have lack of supply, or into new low ground, attempting to make a break. If we reject there, that's our decision point. We'll just do that. But a simple way to look at it is the higher the volume is here, the more likely it's coming down. And this is where sellers are getting in on a retracement. The lower the volume is, along with closing above here and starting to move up, then we're likely going there. Mr. Knox. Okay. The is you're not sure. Did you watch the last video that I made? Not the live stream, the actual 15-minute video, whatever it was, where I explain what's driving the trade and talk specifically about this trade setup. So the cause of this setup was the fact that the U.S. dollar was weak. Therefore, it's not really specific to the pound driving the move. And basically anything versus the U.S. dollar had some sort of bounce. Because that's really what was going on there. That U.S. dollar reversal situation. At least short term. Oh, no, absolutely not. The reason for that time of day is based on the pound activity. Yeah. Definitely only the pound. Pound dollar, pound yen is what I've been watching. But again, with the correlation and the activity, focused on the pound being the reason for what you're expecting to happen, not, as compared to what currency they're versus. You may see that on other pairs as well, but I'm sticking to the pound yen, pound dollar. So that's it. Yeah, it's a pound situation, yeah. And you've seen many times when we've taken this trade live that if you get a successful buy here and you're moving up, that the other pairs may not be moving up against the U.S. dollar at all, or not nearly as much, right? And that's because the pound is really the reason for that trade. Yeah, it was very specific. Okay, cool. Didn't know what you were uncertain. Okay, so there you go. Yeah. So here we're testing for supply. As I said, it was likely going to stop here, right? That's the template. If it didn't stop, we'd say, well, buyers are aggressive, right? So either way, the template tells you something, no matter what happens. We expect it to stop here. Maybe get a small candle to follow, small bar to follow. That's probably happening. And again, this is that buy activity, markup style buying, stopping. Testing for sellers, showing us what's going on with sellers, because if they're going to show up, this is where they show up. This is that first marker. So no surprise that it stopped. We get a small range, unless sellers take it, right? So either way, we get information. But this is the usual pause and test sort of activity. And this bar is just likely to be small, right? So decision point going on there. We have it here. What is this level? An old support or something? I'm not even worried about the background. It's like total reset. The great reset. Oh no, not that. Definitely don't want that. Yeah, I'm not even worried about that. What levels are back here? Whatever. We're resetting. Not the great reset. We don't want that. So we have the same thing here. The template. Some strength confirmed because it did stop the move. Fib, where do I want to draw that? I mean, technically the high before the drop is up there, but then we have really this. I will go with that again. High to low of the trending move. So again, we have that. Decision point. Should I just do that again? Same idea. Here's our small go nowhere bar that we expected. And from here, if the sellers continue, we'll see it pull away from this area. Start to break the low of the test bar here and stuff. And that says, okay, we're doing it. If we had even more volume on this, and even more. So it's sort of a medium, so we don't get a clear answer. We certainly didn't see a bunch of selling jumping in. So we got that information. And this is very low volume here. As it stopped and tests here, right? So we don't see an excitement of sellers coming in. We don't see that the buyers are overly excited that they didn't stop and test and we kept going, right? We're just, let's find out. That's exactly what's going on. But there's that small doji-like thing. Yeah. And now let's see what direction we pull away in. Again, same thing here. So the volume isn't clear as far as if it was high showing supply. No. If it's particularly low. No, there's actually a slight increase. Very sort of medium low. And not much of a reaction yet. So we're finding out. But it's nice that things just started with a bang today. The first regular day. Again, yesterday, New Year's was observed. The weekend wasn't good enough. You need the day off. So today's the first normal day, and bang, the market just started going. So that's nice. Yeah, I never traded the London hour trade on anything but the pound. Yeah, that was always the point. Here we have a combination of, what is that support? Oh, that's just the London hour. The London? Yeah. Well, now I can move that. Break test continuation pattern. Bearish outlook, particularly if there's weakness. Take break is a bullish pattern, and especially if there's not weakness, we have a bullish projection, right? So, similar correlated stuff here now. So this is showing a lack of supply here if we move up as a result, right? Again, we're stopping and testing for supply, testing for sellers. The volume is low, and if it's followed by an up move here, it clearly communicates lack of supply and likely to continue the markup style buying. But we'll see the result. That's like telling people, I just want Christmas over to look at the charts. Yeah. Boring. But at least we actually went pretty far into December. I think I went up to the 21st. Give or take. I think we actually streamed on the 21st. Yeah. So as far as December's go, yeah, it went. We did get a few weeks out of it still. We ended off the year very nicely. Scalp mania. We had that going on for a while. Lots of scalps. Is it all busy from like now, or does February, March see the bigger volume coming in? I just kind of group it all together with January, February, March, April. Best time of year. May. And then June, July, August, September, or at least first half of September, that tends to be slower and a little less activity. And then you got the October, November stuff, which is always good too. But from now until, April, I just kind of group it all together as all good. Are we getting this result of bearishness pulling away here? There is a bit of too much buying, perhaps, for that short scalp. As many of you know, the scalp setup, the lower the volume, the better off of this low before shorting. And that's certainly not low volume. So there's a bit of a mismatch. You could end up with a bit of no supply situation here and then continue up. I mean, we could always still come down, see if the buyers show up again, maybe get a fake break. But if this volume was lower, I'd be looking for this, as a lot of you know, looking to short here. But that's a bit too much strength there. Do they all have it? Yeah, they all do. I can't quite trust that short. But at this point in the pattern, as far as from a bearish point of view, it's sellers for the taking. If they're going to do it, they should be doing it and going for a new low. Based on that reaction. Again, I'm not getting into that short because of the strength here. Otherwise, I would. If this was just flat, like no big deal, volume-wise off the low, I would be getting in the short. But again, you know, buying here and that reaction takes away the probability a bit too much. Situation like this, you could end up with, there's nothing wrong with small fibs. You could end up with this, which would really mess up your short scalp. It's just a little more likely to happen because of the strength, right? So that's why I'm not getting short on that. We highlight things that are important volume-wise, you know. So we will see the next move. If it does come down to the low, we'll see about buyers. We can end up with a double bottom, fake break with some large buying, and that would be bullish from there. This I just drew in because, you know, again, you just use the tools that we already know and have. Things that you could apply to a large time frame if this was a 1 hour chart too. This is fractal. And see, because if we have buying here, right, we're looking at imbalance. If we have buying here and lack of selling here, as far as supply coming in, activity, right? Now, let's say you get some strength off of this area. It could be a 618 overshoot, right? And a rejection there. That really tells you it's going to try to break through here. And again, that's just the main projection is that fib. So you can end up with that, right? Strength here. Again, it could not show up, and that'll tell you it's likely going to try to break the low, and you look for strength or not there and make that projection, right? But there's only so many things you're thinking about, higher prices telling you about supply, selling, lower prices telling you about demand, and our simple support resistance, and you can draw on a fib. 14 EMA is the test area, in this case, test for supply. Not too complicated. But as far as this pattern goes, right, you're in a downtrend, you're pausing here. It's sellers for the taking, putting this aside, which makes it not a great trade. But that's what it is here. Whatever sellers are going to do, they're going to do now. If they're not taking it, that tells you something. This whole move has lost its momentum, or whatever you want to call it, if we can't move down from here, right? That means further retracement, maybe something else going on. But under normal circumstances, a strong trend is going to come down from here and try to break. As far as the template, right? Possible short on Bitcoin incoming. I haven't traded cryptos as far as day trading in a long time. I'm just holding my swing longs. Possible short. I know that we saw some supply recently into up moves, so that is possible if you're day trading. What did we have up there? Supply. Really a mix of buying and selling in this little area, but you see supply into these up moves. Supply. I would not be surprised if it does that. If it even gets that high, but maybe a fake break. But yeah, there's supply in this area that keeps hitting and pushing things down. So as far as the short-term day trade, yeah. Yeah, I see weakness here. But particularly if you're trying to break and you fail on high volume, yeah, very likely to come down. As far as getting really a good price, yeah. I believe the big move was pending transaction on the holidays, and the opening of the banks caused it sleepy day ahead. Well, we'll see. As long as things progress on a template, so to speak, then I'm liking it. And the fact that it, I saw some strength and it bounced, made sense. The fact that it stopped here, started to do this stuff, clean. So as long as things are normal, it could die off here and sit here for 30 minutes, and that'll tell us something too. But coming up to that 14 didn't take very long. And then doing that was a usual sort of behavior when things are active. So far, so good. Right? But yeah, it is a little surprising that we moved so much to start the session the first normal day. It doesn't have to do much today. It wouldn't be surprising if we just kind of sat down here. We'll take it as it comes. Wish that volume wasn't there. I'd be now considering this short. So again, stopping here, testing, predictable. As we're pulling away, saying, okay, we're at least going to come to here. Maybe we get into the fib area and we get a real read on volume, but we did actually touch it here. So higher volume here will mean we're likely to bounce. Lower volume means we're likely trying to break the low. We can even see the 1 minute reaction in there. Oh, we do have some volume there. So as far as what the 1 minute is telling us, that quick dip into here, we actually did see buying. Which is precisely why I warned against going short and drew that. If that, now that's just the 1 minute, but if that ends up showing up as some real volume on a 5 minute chart and rejection, right? We're back to that. And again, if we got strength and lack of supply, we're really out of balance to the upside. So that could be the case. So I haven't taken anything yet, right? Just easing in. Seeing what the market wants to do here. Getting warmed up, woke up. Either way, this should be helpful to understand this stuff. So again, this is a situation where we clearly are bullish if we get some activity on this and a rejection. This lack of supply here, important. What kind of market like that? Compared to the demand. And then again here, we'll find out about demand. If we go lower, we'll find out there. See, we get a proper imbalance. What happened? The music's off? Let me fix that. What we got? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Let me see. Trying to get the music back. Okay, we'll play that. All right.
If you own and list your vacation home on Airbnb.
1 second. There we go. Ah, look what happened. Strength. So now we're starting to see an imbalance to the upside, right? Buying, lack of selling. It's not huge volume, but it's higher than the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and right where we projected it. And if this happens, then our up move is pretty certain. See the reaction here. But again, we did see that when we marked in advance to tell us about buyers. that increase in volume showed up on the 1 minute right there. There, initially into the zone. And then we have a rejection maybe. So again, that is why I didn't like the scalp here, because you could run into that stuff if you have too much strength in the background and really not much supply shown, right? The imbalance is not in your favor. Seeing a bit of strength, particularly on the pound now. Now the pound wants to look a little strong, huh? Still a decent time of day to have that driving the trade. If the other currency wants to behave. In this case, the dollar, US dollar coming down. To expect that would also help. But that is the projection at the moment. See, we actually confirm strength with a close up here. Not typically in a pattern where I would get in. But let's see. So as we're getting towards, well, I just moved that by accident. Getting towards the close of this 5 minute, we are seeing that it is confirming strength. We do have strength, lack of supply. Likely to retrace higher. Not a typical point in this pattern where I would get in, but I might put something on it, especially if we get above 14 here without any supply issue. Likely going to try to break that swing high next. Yeah, looking likely to do that, huh? Small risk warm-up trade. Really here, lack of supply is important. And it's not really out of the ordinary as far as the situation, which we've seen a lot of scalps lately, so if you've been watching. But when you have a strength off the low, lack of supply on the automatic rally, right? And then this we pre-mapped out, so that's not surprising. And then another 14 EMA low supply signal here. Certainly nothing out of the ordinary. Just buying off of that, yeah. But the lower the volume here, the better. And I might be getting into that long situation. I'd probably just put my stop. I like to put it to allow for a fake break. And that's like 50 pips or something down there. So I'd probably just put it below this low, and we're really betting on this trying to break that high next. But let's see. Again, here it's similar to here, where the lower the volume is, the less selling, the less supply is happening. We don't have low volume right there. Let's see. There was our buying initially. There's our buying at fib. Here's our supply off the 5-minute 14 EMA. See how this ends up. But if you have my course, you know my main trading method. This is right. It's not a double bottom fake break like we often see, but it's that fib showing strength in this case. But the strength, and then we're using the 14 EMA to tell you about supply and getting a no supply signal at that point. So, you know, pretty textbook there. Happy New Year vibe. And anyone else here? Happy New Year. Good to be back. We're doing this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're doing it live. We got the main method, and we got the scalp method. We got the London hour trade. 3 distinct methods that complement each other, right? New members join the Discord. Subscribe. Hit the like. YouTube talk. The lower the volume here, the more likely it is to move up. That's what our 14 EMA is for. In this case, testing for supply. Again, the 1 minute showed. Right, there's our 14 EMA, and the 5 minute, it's here. You see the supply. That's what we didn't want if we were going to get in long. So there's your warning. So no entry on that. Next. Kind of got to make up its mind here, right? We got to this decision point here, testing for supply. We got a little bit, not that much, but a slight increase in volume. They pause, they test. And then again, you got a bit of buying on the fib, so we're kind of close together and similar and not very active overall, though. Again, there's that buying into here. So a bit of buying and selling close together, not extreme volume on it, but a bit. Generally, though, it looks, well, I'm saying the strength in the background looks out of balance to the upside. There isn't much supply there, but it's there still. That's the thing. Again, this really summarizes the situation it just got in, because we were looking at buy activity here and we saw it come in. And then the sell activity, we see the spike on the 1 minute chart, squashing that down. So you do have some selling and buying close together. Not high volume, though, but still. There's a bit of a balance here. We want the imbalance. Oh, there was no trade. No, there wasn't a short. Maybe the pound yen did, but no, I didn't take anything. No trade taken. I think the volume was too high for the short, and the long, it wasn't great. We didn't see much pound driven, reason to buy. You had the pound dollar move up because of the weak dollar for 20 minutes or so. But the pound itself, right, this one's sagging, not doing much as far as an up move. So there isn't really the pound driving itself and creating the proper situation for that. So no trade. Certainly the method doesn't give a trade there. If anything, if you traded aggressively, it would be that this confirmed at this point on the fake break with some strength. But it wasn't quite right because the pound itself was not particularly strong generally. So it was, again, that just moved up because the US dollar was weak. So you could have bought anything at that point, and it got to the 14 EMA. So kind of a different reason for that. Yeah, nice way to start off our first regular day back as the market goes. We don't have to see it warm up slowly. And that was really, again, what happened was the US dollar took off. Very markup up move. Yen moved up a bit. But that's the story so far today. Strong US dollar. But it did hit some trading in the other way here, showing strength on this down move against it. And then kind of just going flat. Now we're back down here where we did see some buying. Maybe it comes in again. And then the supply is gone. And then we move up, right? So we're just looking for this imbalance to confirm. But yeah, since that 14 EMA test, it doesn't seem like it definitively wants to do anything, right? Got a bit quiet, and we see a bit of trading in both directions. So we're just kind of stuck here for a second. Just warming up. If you're new, welcome. We're doing this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the most part. Join the Discord. Live analysis. Live trades. I'll let you know what I'm doing. Any questions, let me know. I've taken a lot of things. Some VSA, some Wyckoff, some technical analysis, basic stuff. Some understanding what the hell's going on. What is smart money doing? What are they not doing? And we don't care why. Fundamentals don't matter. Charts don't lie. So, what is the new indicator? Here we go. What is the new indicator supposed to be showing? Which one is that? Oh, that. Some pretty colors. That's it. Updated charts for 2023. We got colors in the background. If anything, I think it might be helpful for exits. It's good. It's good at. I mean, the eye can see it anyway. But let's say you're short here, right? That's where you get a green. It's just kind of showing you momentum. Yeah, it's pretty, you know. The bottom was for Christmas. This one must be. Yeah, it's we got rid of the Christmas one. Christmas lights are gone appropriately. So you see how we followed along, right? The strength, the test, and then we saw it get a little bit mixed up here as far as some buying, some selling. See the 1 minute spike, and just kind of getting stuck as a little bit of buying, a little bit of selling came in, and there's no like strong move to the downside or upside here. So we're kind of glad we're not in a trade, right? Again, for the scalp method, if we didn't have this strength, I would have shorted here. But as I pointed out at the time, and why I didn't take it, was because buyers could show up here if they showed up here. And that's very bad for your short scalp. It barely moved. And that's what happened. So not in a trade, just observing. I mean, based on this information, from this point, it could go either way right now, right? We wanted to get out of this. Maybe we move up and see a lot of weakness, or see lack of weakness, right? Something. Move down. 618 overshoot, right? That'll tell us something. Can we even close above the 14 EMA without getting squashed? Which tends to help the bullishness. No deal so far on that attempt, right? So we kind of knew it at this point. We got a little jumbled up. Supply-demand balance here. But like I say, especially if you're new, this stuff, we're on a 5-minute chart. It applies to the background. You could apply this same analysis to a 1-hour chart and see your bigger picture. So it's not just tunnel vision here. Right now, it's working off of very dead end-of-the-year activity, so we haven't quite gotten the storyline, background, Wyckoff phases, VSA background, whatever you want to label it. Following the smart money, so to speak. We're just getting they're just getting active again, so we're kind of just resetting. It's a great reset, right? No, we don't want that. Carbon. 5-minute intense analysis. That's right. If you do this on a 1-hour chart, it's obviously less intense, and it gives you your bigger picture. But doing on a 5-minute is much quicker, and you get to see. If this was a 1-hour chart, we'd say strength in the background, to some extent, and so on and so on. New member France in the Discord. Welcome. Glad I know about the Great Reset. I know about it all. I know too much. I want to not know anymore and just live. You know what I'm saying? I think what's brewing. Oh, don't start. I'm gonna start now. By God's grace, I hope the masses wake up sooner than later. Yeah, we know what's going on. Yeah, I know. You know what seems to be taking shape? Because money is power, right? Let's face it. Yeah, Carbon. I'm getting started. Here we go. Don't say, "Oh God." Yeah, oh God, save us. What seems to be happening is the ultra rich are in a bit of a war with each other at this point. Are they not? I mean, you gotta be ultra rich to compete with any of this at this point, right? I won't name names, but you know what I'm talking about. The ultra rich, outspoken, I don't care, you can't cancel me, I have too much money, therefore I have too much power, therefore I have influence, therefore I have an army. You can arrest me, false charges, but there are, not me, hopefully, but yeah, the ultra rich can fight, can't they? So there's a bit of a war going on. Good. Somebody has to stop these people. All right, we'll leave it at that. I was really hoping for something clean on the pound, but we knew at this point that we were likely we were seeing that balance come back. What do we want to do here? It was nice to see the bit of buying. It wasn't high volume, but at least it was an increase here in the area we had pre-marked to tell us that if we can get above this 14 EMA, and we don't see any issue again like this first time, and 1 minute showing weakness also, then it's likely to try again, right, to break to the upside. But things kind of got into the weeds, right? We knew it. We knew that there was too much strength here to go short. And then a bit of buying here, but not much to kind of just flatten things out. Not much activity right now. It kind of got quiet. So I'm glad I'm not in anything. It's kind of mushy at the moment. Understandably now. London hour was a no entry situation, Carbon. Yeah. Which I kind of planned on as it's really coming off of, the market's just waking up. And the pound itself didn't really do what it's supposed to do at that time to give us a setup. I kind of didn't expect a setup, and that was that. The war of the ultra rich, yes, in 2023. I'm telling you, this is what's coming. You know. You know who I'm talking about. You name them on one hand. There's not that many. They got to all team up. Stop this madness. Who else is going to do it, right, Carp? Was hoping to get in the pound something, but as you could see, no trade was the right trade, as this thing just kind of got stuck here. as far as off of this test and where we want to go. But I'm happy things are just moving, like it didn't take any time to warm up, or we're off to the races. We'll likely get something today. If we do test the low again, we'll see if this strength shows up and maybe more, maybe a fake break. And followed by lack of supply, then we finally get a real retracement. And if there isn't strength showing up, let's say our volume stays flat, as it shows us buy activity here, then we're expecting a real breakout. We could have a break test continuation, 14 EMA entry to the downside in that case, right? So, you know, how does it resolve that we got this mush in here, right? We saw in real time, it's getting a little mushy. Is testing the high or the low and giving a clear response. Floundering. Oh gosh. That's not flounder. It would have to be a longer period of time to call it floundering. That was just a little 20-minute thing. There we go. We're not floundering. We're moving. Okay. So now we can get some answers. Maybe we can get an imbalance. Marking the close, right? Wick only if you had candles. So into here, and of course all through it and slightly below, but starting here is going to tell us about buy activity. We knew that it was there the first time. Are they buying again? If so, in large amounts, we would expect a double bottom. If they're not showing up, we're likely continuing down. So we have our decision point here clearly. The dollar index, yeah, that's pretty much the decision point high there. Pound, okay. Showing some buying. We didn't even get to that low. What's this level? Is that the London, yeah. Bounced off the London level. Wow. The London hour level. Is that what that is? Yeah, because that closed. Yeah. I guess I should leave it on the chart. Hit some buyers there. So that's hitting buyers. This is hitting buyers. Okay. And this could be the low of the day if we reject off of high volume. Let's see the 1 minute in the zone here. How much, what the buy activity looks like. Is it really focused off the low price? Where it should be. Yes, it is. Well, it's way off once you get in there. Not MT4. So we got some demand showing up. It could have been more, and that would have been helpful saying, okay, we're expecting a bounce, but we have some. We could even pop lower, right, do the fake break and get hopefully more volume, and that would really help seal the deal. Too much demand here for it to break. So again, marking the area, marking demand showing up. And that's a 618 overshoot, so we know these spots. All right. So we'll see what goes on here. The higher the volume, along with a price rejection of the low, the more likely is we're moving up. The lower the volume and closing down and clearly breaking out, then we're likely continuing down. So this is going to tell us about buy activity. Mushy mushy over here. The yen pairs got mushy. But the 14 EMA is holding it, so it might stay bearish for the time being. Get something a little cleaner would be nice. This is kind of the cleanest thing here. Testing this low. After a bit of supply, but really not much. And again, if we get a lot of demand, likely moving up. We don't need the fib. Oops. You see the 1 minute down here now that we went into new low ground. Yeah, our volume's generally staying a bit on the higher side. Wouldn't mind seeing more. But we did increase generally into the area, right? Here's where we enter it. So we do see the volume increase there. Now a fake break pattern. Yeah, exactly, Carbon. Shut up. There's a monthly 50 fib. So there you go. Carbon stuff. Yep. Monthly fib on what was that? Let's see. There's a big fib there. Let's see. Pound. Oh, he didn't specify. Pound dollar, pound yen. Where am I? Monthly chart. Ah. Yeah. That's a big fib there. Well, there's our buy volume. Is it really convincing? It's something. That's about all we could say, right? Not high volume, but it's something. Is that good enough for a trade? Again, the 1 minute into this area overall tells us about buyers. And you see they increase, right? It's there to some extent. And again, here initially, where we get that zone. If you have the course, right, there's your unfinished U, as I call it, right? If you have your double bottom fake break and your volume is like a U shape, but it doesn't quite go all the way back up because that's just what the market does. It's that stopping volume followed by just an increase, typically not as high on that second low. Now, if we move up from here, it's pretty tight. Again, if this was higher, it would be better, but it's there, right? And the fake break is there. To seal the deal and look for a long entry, I would want to see, again, like we did initially, and this time it's closer. We don't have to wait so long, hopefully. Lack of supply on the test there, and then the entry. And again, the lower the volume, the better on that test of supply there. So just to draw in something, get an idea. So it's starting to look like an imbalance to the upside, right? Well, it looks like the London hour trade, wrong as it was, as I specified the reason, would have been a decent 30 pips or so. And then taking the scalp that I didn't take. I'm on the wrong pair. Scalp I didn't take would be the short here because of that strain. Well, that would have worked out too. But at least things are moving. We got stuck there for a moment, but we're still moving. And there's a clear rejection. Okay, so if we get that, right, again, if you were here earlier, or a lot of you know this stuff, as strong as an up move can be, it's more times than not, at least 80% of the time, if not more, it's just going to stop at the 14 EMA. And from there, you get information about supply. We had a bit, but certainly more demand in this range here. So again, here we'll find about supply right after some buying off a fake break, and if the supply is low, we're likely gonna next move try to break out of this. And if we don't run into a lot of supply there and just get stuck in a range, the larger projection is the fib retracement. Do I have to update that level there? Get that low. So we will see entry right above there if we get that lack of supply. Entry is typically around here. Certainly want to close above the 14 EMA. Taking it as it comes, first day back, you know. If you're new, very often we do have a trade by this time. We've already gotten something, whether it's a London hour trade or a scalp. But every day is different, take it as it comes. Patience, patience. But back to the regular schedule, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Since we've been doing that, September, October, November, into December. And we've had some very good stuff go on, right? And a lot of scalps. Whatever the charts want to give as far as setups. I don't know if we even had a losing scalp in the last, when did we just start trading normally again after the 1 hour I don't know, October, November, and December. I don't think we had a losing scalp, not to my recollection. I mean, I've had losses, obviously, in my trading, but I don't think anything we took live was actually a loss. Maybe one? I am also super focused when I stream. Like, I'm not watching something else and doing other things. That's good. I don't miss anything. I'm locked in. More times than not, though, I think we to have a trade by this time of day, right? The London hour trade sets up more days than it doesn't. And the scalps. The regular, this sort of method, this sort of entry, typically happens later in the day, the stuff we're looking at now. But that's what we're getting. Maybe. Huh? Oh, I muted myself for a second, but I wasn't talking while I was muted. Not this time. So yeah, welcome to the new people. I think there's some extra people here today. You only do London or New York? I start 1 hour into London session or a few minutes before, about 45 minutes into the London session, because there's the second hour of London. I want to be on by that because of the London hour trade. So that's a time-based thing where I'm looking for at that time of day, and I'm usually here for a few hours. After that, sometimes I'm in the Discord. And we'll still look for setups and talk there. But that's the usual routine, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Do this for a few hours, and then anything going on, I check in the Discord, and we'll look at it. Wixie's been very helpful, pointing out potential setups in there. So here, we closed a bit lower on low volume. Ideally, it's off of this low if we're looking to buy that we do get strength again here. This is still kind of mushy, right? This one is a bit clearer that there was the double bottom fake break with some strength. Haven't tested the supply yet there. See if we can get up to that 14 EMA and test it. Mushy gushy. Yeah, for a few minutes there. So again, it could go either way, where if we're moving up, we see lack of supply off of a double bottom fake break with strength, right? We're looking for a long. If we move down and the buying is just not there, the demand is not there, we break out on some regular volume to the downside rather than this stuff, which tends to stop a move. But if we break out for real, then I'm looking for shorts. Again, the 14 EMA test scalp, break test continuation. A lot of times they combine, which is a very good textbook entry. You know, not chasing the initial breakout. So there could be a short and there could be a long, right? If we move up and we have lack of supply on these up moves, I'd look to go long. This is likely the low of the day if that's the case, unless we, hit some large supply and then do another leg down. I'm not even thinking that far ahead yet because we don't have much of a background to work off of, holiday stuff. But we will. Easing into it though. Either way. Of course, it's first week of the month, so we got non-farm. And of course, first week of the year, so yeah, we'll take it as it comes. This week is all about U.S. dollar news, U.S. news. And you're going to get high volume on that stuff. Obviously, Friday is going to be that high volume news. Also tomorrow. So that'll help set the background. See what the big money's up to once they get really active on that stuff. That tends to help get our background established into next week. But we don't really have that right now. How's your oil position doing there, Carb? I think you're going to do good again today when the market's open, I think. But my long on oil, which I tell you guys in real time when I do this stuff, swing trading, that's moving into a bit of profit. Silver and gold doing wonderfully. Off of the wrong chart. Off of the large fib retracement buy. I have taken off some of that position as we got into this stuff. Whatever it was, a bit of weakness, a bit of stalling, a bit of end of the year profit taking. But I'm still holding on to more than half of that silver position. And there we go. Maybe we're going to keep going. And that's just swing trading there. Gold. Doing well. So, yeah, and for the newer people, you know, besides Forex, I'm swing trading on larger time frames, everything else. So it doesn't require very much time, you know. And this was the big old retracement area to buy on silver. That was a good move. Ultimately, I'm looking for high volume and weakness to get out. We know, obviously, there's all this coming up as far as resistance levels and where that large selling took place here. So any sign of high volume selling, I'm going to be nipping off, you know, selling off partial position. But I do want to hold some unless I see really terrible weakness come in, and then I'll get out of all of it. And then oil I bought here and here. So that's starting to move. I'll buy more if it goes lower into this area. We do have a, what is back there? A big old fib, right? Daily chart. Is that drawn right? Yes. Okay, so I have, you know, only like maybe half of what I'm willing to buy on oil. If it comes down into here, this is very similar to the silver setup, into these fib areas, and again, seeing strength come in, larger time frame stuff, that's it, start to accumulate, right? I mark this in particular because we have, it's a fib area and we have a couple of supports, and, you know, my mind just automatically goes to fake break and seeing that's where buyers are going to be exposed as being active or not. So if we get into here and we see high volume demand buying, I add to that position, right? And if we just do this, it's a nice move. And considering all the positions and if everything gets into profit. So very simple, non-time consuming stuff there. Oh, you made some money and now very good. Carbon. Carbon is just getting into it and doing it right. You think it's going to dip lower? We'll see, right? Then it's your chance to buy more. And if we just want to trend up, there's your chance to take off some profit. So terribly complicated, isn't it? But the main thing is, yeah, if you can mark up these kind of levels and get used to this stuff and consider, like, if they're going to buy low, what is low? You know, going through here and seeing high volume rejection, going into these areas, right? Seeing that high volume rejection, telling you, you're not just buying because it's low, but you're buying because it's low and you see high volume right down here rejecting in key levels. Then you're buying along with some smart money, you know. Either way, but that's the thing. You don't have to, in swing trading, you don't have to really predict. You just got to position right and let it do what it's going to do. That silver trade I had to hold for a long time. And if it went lower, I would have bought more. But it went up, so I'm selling some off. And oil, we'll see, right? You just take advantage of the prices you get, right? It's really simple. Really simple. Anyway, where are we on this stuff? So yeah, and for the new people, and just a reminder of also, there's that. Maybe I could put something in the Discord. I think I have to update the Discord, right? I could put swing trading positions. I could share what I'm doing. Also, there should be a London hour trade chat, right? Just to show that setup, I think. So I'll do some updating on the Discord to match what we're doing here and have all the sections. Because if I'm sharing swing trade positions, you know, in the lounge, By the time they start playing out, you got to scroll up for days to see my chart and where I got in. So we should put a swing position chat. I'll do that. Meanwhile, it's hard to get straight answers here, right? Okay, well, we got some buying here. We got the double bottom fake break. All we wanted was a test of the 14 EMA as our next piece of information for possibly entry on the trade. 20 minutes, we haven't been able to do that. That's all right. First day back. Patience, patience. But yeah, for me, like I say, day trade the Forex just because I know it so well. It's always moving. There's always opportunities pretty much every day. And then everything else, swing trading, crypto, and swing trading things, and some of these other things that I'm holding. Elon, you're hurting me, man. You better get it together. Stop telling people your stock is overvalued. Think Tesla's going to have a good year? At least I made money when I was forced to sell Twitter. So, all right, Elon, I'm up. Don't fuck around. You know what happened to a lot of the electric vehicles in this cold that we had a couple weeks ago? Last week, whenever it was? That freezing cold? The batteries wouldn't charge. The electric vehicles, the batteries don't charge when it's -8 degrees out. They don't charge. I'm no engineer, but I would think you have something around the battery that when you start to charge, first that warms up the battery. And when the battery reaches a certain temperature, then you charge it. I mean, I could plug in a heater right now. It heats up. How did they overlook that? I don't know. Weird, right? Heat up the battery first, then charge it. You know? Just charge the cold battery? Okay. kind of bad. But that was like trending for a while. Like, I can't charge my Tesla. It won't charge. I've been sitting here for 2 hours. It's kind of bad. So again, typically you get to these areas and you get a bounce off some strength. You get to the 14 EMA quickly, right? There we got it. The first time we're right there. This is like either we're going to test that or we're going to test new low ground. We're going to see about supply. We're going to see about demand. But we're just kind of stuck. Just kind of stuck. It's all right. Let things warm up. First day of the year. The Earth is supposed to be hot enough. Oh, so he's anticipating global warming. Genius. Why do I question his genius? Of course. The war of the ultra rich is on. If you haven't noticed, notice. They're battling each other now. They all got the best lawyers. They have connections on either side. They have power. It's going to get interesting. It's just getting started. I think that's a 2023 prediction. Let's make some predictions. What's going to happen this year? Or if the pound comes down here, we'll find out about buyers, right? Let's see if we get a straight answer. From the looks of things, from this low, buying at fib, a bit of strength here. They may pop up in volume and buy here. But we'll find out. Again, the euro, oh, there we go. Showed some buying, but didn't get to test and didn't get any sort of bounce. All right, let's see what happens here. So if this breaks out to the downside, and we're not seeing any overwhelming strength, we will consider it a real breakout. So this was the bullish projection, right? We can always make a projection in either direction. Was to do that, and the bearish projection. Now, I could do a fake break and then still do that, but putting that aside for the moment, if it is a real breakout, the bearish projection and way we can get into it is a break test continuation. Is always nice and clean with the 14 EMA coming through. So the lower the volume, the better here, as far as considering that a real breakout that's going to continue. And then we'll see if we get a entry that's going to look similar to this one as a test the 14 EMA here, as a break test continuation also, with a lack of strength, hopefully, right? Let's see the 1 minute. Oh, the strength is there. The strength is there. 5 minute, we're waiting. But that shows you immediate. Some buying came in. Again, if this was flat volume, very likely a real breakout. I'm really looking to go short, but there it is. There's some buying. So it could be a fake breakout. I'm just the messenger. Predictions for 2023, yeah? Joe's going to run into a wall and crash the dollar. More inflation. More spending. Like literally run into a wall? That's possible. He's just going to go visit the Grand Canyon and fall in. So lower volume for true breaks because the big boys are hiding the break. Basically, World War III, let's hope not. Yeah, well, that's another one. You think everything's just calming down and we're forgetting about Ukraine? No. No. Don't get me started. But think of it this way as far as the breakouts, right? Apply this to everything. Lower prices tell you about buyers. This is the activity. Here's a low price where the activity increased. It actually stopped the down move, right? You found buyers. Again, here, there was some buy activity, but not as much. You just get a read on it. Again, here, right, lower prices. If this was flat volume, it wouldn't be buying into this so much. But it closed off the low on increased volume. Not huge, but the principle is the same. Bit more activity, right, than any of this stuff. It almost doubled from the previous into low prices. So there is some buying into that. But we look at a 2-candle pattern. This is confirmed as strength as that closes up. This little bit of volume here was confirmed as weakness as we eventually closed down. We didn't get any higher as a result. So, but it's basic strength and weakness. If you learn VSA, which I took a lot of stuff from VSA. And I also left out some stuff. Simplified things. Buying into selling. It sounds backward. Okay, so have you learned VSA stuff? Have you learned how smart money pre-positions for moves and things like that? Maybe not. And it sounds backwards. Buying into selling. First time I heard it. All right, what was it? 2007 or something? And I heard Gavin say, weakness appears on up bars. You can tell if smart money is selling when price is moving up. I said, what? That doesn't make any sense. But if the volume is high and the price is rejected, it has to be large selling. If the volume's high and the price is rejected into an up move, it has to be selling. And then you go to the real world of supply and demand. And lower prices attract demand. Higher prices attract supply. And if price is moving down, 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 and suddenly there's more activity, there's more transactions, and it stops the progress of that down move, you'd have to say, okay, buyers are interested. Buyers are active now. Has to be, right? It's funky, but yeah, they have to make the price move because they need other side of the short longs. Yep. They're taking the other side of dumb money, so to speak. So you could apply it here and say, especially if we had higher volume buying, it's really just kind of medium. But those that are chasing the short sell orders, they buy. They get to buy a large amount at a nice low price without marking up. You also have those that are long, have short stop losses here, which comes in as a short. They sell off their position. Their stop losses here, those that bought here, a lot of people. That's going to come in as a sell. Buy that up, right? So you get a lot of reasons why these fake breakout stuff become points where they may or may not pre-position for an up move. Here, if we get some sort of medium, average, bit of increase, and then we continue down as a result on some low volume, whatever, it's not really showing that. But these high volume rejections, right? And if they're buying here once, they bought here again to some extent, they're typically now accumulating in this area. And it may go down, but if you keep seeing buying, once the supply is low, and that's what we're waiting for, right? We have an imbalance to the upside. Supply is low. They wouldn't expect lower prices anymore, and you go into markup. And all these positions that were bought up here, you mark them up. You mark up, which is easy to do when the supply is low. So that's the game. And once you start marking up, what happens? People start chasing the up move. Yeah, it's all good. And you start selling off to the latest dumb buyers that are up here. You sell off your position to them. And the story goes, right? The smart money is always a step ahead. And if there's a consensus among them, it becomes very, very high probability what's going to happen next. If they're pre-positioned before an imbalance, very high probability. And that's what we were looking for here is maybe, right, pre-positioning of longs and then lack of supply, but we're just not getting so much excitement into as far as buying. And then this guy's breaking out. So just taking it as it comes. Again, usually we'd have a trade or two by this time of day. The London hour trade, a scalp or two, whatever. So every day's different. You take it as it comes. If you're just joining us here for the first time. But I do have a ton of videos on my YouTube channel that explain how I trade. And if you get yourself caught up with that stuff, then you'll really know what's going on here. And again, I didn't invent most of this stuff. I'm not taking credit as some sort of inventor of some amazing things. But just learning VSA, learning Wyckoff, learning technical analysis, learning everything, and piecing together what I want to use and leave out and create black and white situations where I can get straight answers and know when and where I'm taking trades and why. Simplify some things. Let me get a drink. Did we lose the music? 1 second, guys. All right. So this is really not bad, especially here. We even went a bit lower, but we retested that low price area. Really not much going on as far as volume. So I'm okay with shorting on a break test, and ideally combined with 14 EMA test. Is it going to go where I want it to go? We don't really need that. We want it to happen sooner. Yeah, we'll go there. Just kind of jumps. Not letting me do it. All right. But there, I'll look for that short. Especially because we're not seeing much activity here. We're not seeing a fake breakout. It got a little mushy, though. Pound. Not showing much buying. Again, here we saw some of the initial buying there. See what happens. But yeah, it kind of started off with a really nice move and then choppy as far as signals. That's all right today. Hit the like button. Thank you. Much appreciated. If you think this is good information and it should get out there and people should learn how to read a chart right, I think hitting the like button helps that. And then it gets suggested more. So I hear. Again, if I was a YouTuber and that was my job, I would be on the street on a laptop. I'd be at Starbucks, homeless. My channel doesn't grow. So help it out. It's free information. Doing it live. Exactly, Carbon. Certainly, since I got back into it after my back surgery, man, 2022 was rough for me, man. Like, traumatized by that shit. But anyway, yeah, since we came back, had a really nice run at the end of the year. We did a lot of it live, a lot of it in the Discord. Carbon, good? You're going to call it good? Well, that's good. I didn't know if I'd make it back to real life. My regular life. I thought it could be over. I'm totally traumatized from that experience. Really. It changed me, though. I work out now. Me? Yeah. I work out. I love hot sauce. Or who am I? I had such bad nightmares. After the surgery, ooh. I don't remember the nightmare, but it was so bad. It was like the unconscious trauma of getting sliced open. It came out in a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Reason for back surgery, I had a disc. You know, the usual. I had a disc that was pushing on a nerve like a fist. Like that thing was, you could see it just pushing in. And that nerve was connected to my entire right leg. Because, you know, all the nerves in your body go to your spine and consolidate and go to your spine in one spot. So your whole leg from your hip down on one side all comes together to one spot. So as far as my body knew, my entire right leg was under some sort of trauma, even though nothing was going on. The leg became swollen. The pain was unbearable. You don't want to hear all this. God, it was terrible. Never experienced anything so terrible in my life. I feel bad for myself. Damn. God, that was bad. And then I got sent through the system of the medical system, which is a lot of scammy stuff, a lot of bullshit, and that was pissing me off. And then I met this surgeon, Chinese surgeon, appalled at what I had been dealing with, and said, "I'm going to fix you right up." And I believed him, and he did. And just like that, I'm back to regular life. I can walk, I can do everything. And I started working out. I'm good. Oh, God. What an ordeal. Thank you. Hillary loves hot sauce too. She carries it in her pocket when she's interviewed. Oh, only by certain people. All right. Stop. I'm looking for this a little higher to get that short on a break test. Doesn't quite want to do it. Oh, here's the support. You know, I had it marked a little too high. There's the break test, but we didn't get the 14 EMA. I didn't update it to that low, which makes it, technically it did test. Yeah, I'm just not loving it in this area. It's just not giving clear imbalances. This looks likely to break to the downside if we don't get strength, but again, I don't chase breakouts. So here I'd be chasing a breakout, break test continuation. Not with that volume there, and without testing the 14, it's not quite right. I'm going to stay picky. I'm going to stick with what we do, which is giving at least a trade a day. So I'm not really worried about it if there's nothing here. First day back. No, not overweight. And the doctor said, no, I'm pretty much at my ideal weight, maybe 5 pounds over. But yeah, no, that wasn't an issue. And the doctor said to me, yeah, it's so much easier that you're not overweight. You'd be worse, and the surgery would be more serious, and getting into that area would be whatever, having to cut through some blubber there. Whatever it is. But he was like, yeah, no, that's good. It makes things easier. EU appears oversold, really. Oversold. I don't know. Define oversold. And then I'll see if I agree. What's oversold? It's just a term. I mean, does it mean, well, it's just been going down a long time, so probably going to go up. I'm not sure what oversold really means. Is your stochastics all the way down in the thing? I'm kidding around, but you know what I'm saying. This thing could go down as long as there's more selling than buying. And it was a bit of an odd day, an odd way to start off our first normal day, right? Okay, we're waiting. Today's the first normal day, and here we go. Market open, and it's this. So what's going on? Are we dropping today? And it's going to sit down there, and that's that? Yeah, that's possible. Again, we saw buying to stop the move, and we're saying, okay, we got the markdown activity. We got some demand coming in. Let's take it from there. And volume is just kind of flat. Yeah, we saw some buying. It didn't even hold up the price. Now it's behaving like it's doing the break test continuation pattern. See it there. Well, it did actually touch, but the break test continuation actually did touch there. And that's a bearish pattern. If we can't get back above here very soon, right, we have to consider that a real breakout, and that the old resistance is now the old support is acting as resistance. But it's, for me, not high probability enough either way, so no trade yet, although we normally have one by this time of day. Not yet today. The definition for oversold. Okay. Meaning it has just taken out weekly liquidity. Okay. And this seems to now be real reason to seek other liquidity below. Now, really? Oh, no real reason. Right. Maybe. The thing that limits, at least with me, that's limiting any sort of better projection also, why I'm just looking at today and just trying to figure it out on a 5-minute time frame, is the lack of background activity coming off, the holidays. So it's like we're not in the middle of the story. Like we just started a movie. We're in the first scene. What's going to happen? It's hard to predict. What's going on? Where are we? The dude with the market controller was still dealing with the overdose of champagne and pushed the control. Fat fingers. That was 2008 flash crash. Fat fingers. Oops, he hit a few extra zeros. Some guy. Everything's bullshit, isn't it? GU looks interesting. Does it? What do we got? Oh, lack of supply. You're right. We finally touched the 14 EMA on low volume. There's our demand. I mean, it's there, but is it there? Where did it show up? Obviously here. There's our supply. Some at the fib. Some at the 6.8 overshoot, London hours support. And then into our zone, which is going to tell us about buyers. Yeah, we got that. It's always an increase over the recent range where we have to test for buyers and see this level. Not terrible. And then this is low volume supply, test of supply here. So that is something of interest. If we close above the 14 EMA off of this buying, which could be better, but it's there. Lack of supply, there it is. All right, we were looking at that initially here. Lack of supply leading to the outcome of higher prices. There, we might be getting it. So yeah, this could be. Again, if this volume was higher, this would be so much better. But again, they're at least all increased where we would want them to some extent in a dying market right now, activity-wise. Yeah, not terrible here. Not terrible for the long, considering the lack of supply that was just shown on the 14 EMA. Let's go in here. And I didn't want to see that, but there it is. There's our demand off of the zone, which is decent. Could be better. And a bit of selling did hit here. And what is that? The 14 EMA test. Just above it. Let's see. You already swept short-term liquidity. GU has kept in place. Is a diversion of scenes. Price wants to go higher. EU is not likely to stop. It did the break test continuation. If it met up with the 14 EMA, I would have looked for it because I'm sticking to my rules and we got plenty of trades. So I'm not bending them. But whoever was willing to buy, it looks like they did so, and we're continuing. And if we keep seeing low prices closing at or near the low without any high volume, I would not consider a long at all. Of course, that could change if we get strength. But so far, not showing up. Yeah, you're just speculating. But as far as what the chart is telling me, if there was really a confidence that this was going to move up, we would likely see more activity here and a quicker fake breakout. We're kind of hanging out low, and these prices are getting accepted. So I would still look to short a retracement which I was looking to do here, but it didn't set up right. But if there's not strength coming in off of a low, then a retracement is likely to, if the retracement behaves right and tests the right things, go for another leg down. That's the way I see it at the moment. Pound, huh? The pound is strong. Pound is strong. That's the thing. It's a pound-driven situation if I was buying. See, the pound versus the dollar, right? It's up above the 14 EMA with no issue of high volume supply. Not too much. There was that 1 minute spike. This guy's down. This guy's down, right? Look at the yens. Pound yen, up. Everything else versus the yen, down. So, the pound is seeing some strength. It's a pound-driven situation if I go long here. It's not because I have the help of a weak US dollar, do I? No, I don't. If I had a weak US dollar, this would be a much better long entry here. We'd have some buying of the pound over the last 15, 20 minutes in particular, along with weak US dollar. That would give a high probability long. Can we do this on the US dollar? Can we fail this breakout? Get below the 14 EMA, show some bearish signs, and that would help this thing. But the pound is strong. Do I trust that alone for the reasoning of the trade? This time of day, it's not terrible to have that as the reason. I could put a position long on the pound here. Pound dollar. Maybe I'll go, half risk. Just kind of warming up. Let's see. Kind of big moves. The stop loss is kind of big if you put it below the low. Where are we here? 22. Yeah, I'd probably just go for a small stop, small risk. Let's see the 1 minute. Lack of supply, please. Ugh. Well, I'll let you know if I take it, but here we are rejecting. Want this to come down. If I'm going long against that US dollar, I want to see this come down, starting to come down. That's not going to help. Yeah, I'm not forcing anything. I always stick to my rules and get enough trades. And then considering today, we're just kind of first day back. And don't have much of a background and just getting a feel for it. Yeah, that's the deal. US dollar is driving everything down as it moves up, except the pound because the pound is strong. I want that US dollar to be weak also if I'm buying against it. Come on down. Let's see here. Lack of supply. Let's go. Can it maintain this price? It is maintaining.
With YouTube Premium, you can download your videos and watch them without Wi-Fi. Take your videos everywhere and watch uninterrupted. Try it on us.
I don't see any selling hitting off of that low volume test. All right, yeah, I'll put a position on. I'm going to go limited risk, though. First trade. Also, the stop loss situation. So I'm in that. I did buy some on the pound dollar. Stop loss situation. Again, normally I'd want it down here. It's a small position. I could do that, but as far as allowing it to test this area again, maybe fake break, But I could also just go with, either it goes or I get out for a small loss and put the, and if we're back down here, what are we doing, right? So I could certainly go smaller on that stop, small risk, small stop. I'll throw it in at 1910 right now, which is a 20 pip stop on a small position. So yeah, that's what it is. I'm willing to risk that. So if we can get to here, try to break out. I mean, that's already 1-to-1 risk reward just to get to this point. I am in this trade here. And if it fails on weakness, I can close it. I can deal with it at that point. So it's a nice risk reward where the 1-to-1 is it doesn't require much for that to happen. All we got to do is range and test this top, and I'll be up 20 pips. So with a 20 pip stop, and we'll see from there. If we even expect this fib retracement or what goes on, but that's likely to happen because of the low supply on that test. And at least we have some buying here in our background. Strong pound, but can we get weak US dollar? I mean, if this happens, right, just this, then we get our 20 pips, right? Whatever has to happen here, some sort of bit of a down move, along with the pound being strong, there'll be no issue. Vibe. Cool, thanks for being here. Keep on with the info in the media wars. The war of the ultra rich 2023. It's on. Cool. See you next time. What time is it? Oh, we did 2.5 hours already. So as I said, I have a position on the pound dollar. Looking for it just to at least test this high. Put something in the bank and manage it from that point. Based on the extreme lack of supply in the test there, which was nice. We did see some following, but we overcame that pretty quickly and closed above. And the pound is strong, so that's why these guys are just down here. But that's all right, having a pound-driven, right, like the last video I made on my channel. A pound-driven trade at this time of day, that's okay. This guy comes down, then it's wonderful, it's great. It's guaranteed profit. Let's go down. That'll be a nice matchup, strong pound, weak dollar. But it's the kind of thing where the pound is strong, so if it kind of just sits here and goes sideways, we could still get to our target. But that would just be extra help. Hey, look, our little indicator turned green down here. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, the noobs are going long. Kidding. So first trade of the year, I got a pound dollar long. I put half risk. Should be able to pop up to that high, get something in the bank. Sailing. All right, so just keeping an eye on that. Strong pound, that's good. If we can get below the high, fail that breakout here, get below the 14 EMA, that's going to help our probability. Are we getting a bounce overall on the dollar pairs? Almost, sort of. Come on down. First trade of the year. Any issue with supply coming in? Any issue on the up move here? Higher prices not getting rejected. Volume decreasing. Should be able to pop through that. If they're really marking up, at least to this level, we should pop up very soon. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've done this before. Not my first rodeo. Getting this carb? Money, 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 money. Money. I almost want to put my stop at break even though it's early, because this thing should just go. Like, there's no reason for it to start pulling back here, you know? It should just go to that high. I mean, I didn't do anything yet, but you get my point. You're up 18 pips? I'm up 7. How are you up 18? You got in off of that, didn't you? Off of the no supply confirmation. It's not wrong. I'm just saying. You got in off no supply confirmation there. Is that what it was? Just want to know your reason for your timing, Wixie. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm up 9, 10 pips. 9. That was the reason? Okay. Just making sure, just checking. Good stuff. Well done, Wixie. Wixie does it again, ladies and gentlemen. You beat me, Wix. You beat me. Big hand for Wixie. Telling you. I called it, man. Wixie is going to wipe the floor with all of us. There you go. Wixie, when are you taking over? That's all I want to know. I'm going to retire at 50. You're going to take over, right? And there we go. There's our target. Or we're a pip away from target. Yeah. All right. So I got my window open just to close half my position here. I'm going to close half and stop at break even. All right, so here it was. At least we were going to get here, right? You won't let me retire. At least we were going to get here. That's what the chart says. We were going to get there, and we were going to do it quickly. So I'm closing half the trade. Done. Half the trade closed in the bank. Money in the bank. First trade of the year. Stop at break even. I don't have any target put in. We'll just manage it. First trade of the year. Money in the bank. No more risk. Let's see what else we can get out of this thing. Cha-ching. Thumbs up for patience. Hit the like button for patience today, right? Is this guy ever going to take a trade, or he just likes talking about things? Yeah. Took a trade. John Curry, win. Man, we must have a 98% win ratio for the live streams over the last few months. No joke. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm telling you, when I do the live stream, I'm so super focused. I just don't take my eyes off the chart, as you can see. I fall into bad habits when I'm by myself. Start watching YouTube videos. Bored, you know? Time goes by much slower. This is like sped up time. I've been here almost 3 hours. That's crazy. It feels like 45 minutes, you know, from my perspective. See, that may come down. Like I said, that's all that was quote unquote guaranteed, or high probability, no guarantee, was to get there. From here, manage the trade, right? I got half in the bank. Stop at break even. And if I see any issue with weakness, I can close more. If I see that we're floating up and staying up here without weakness, then I will leave it. See the 1 minute. We get some quick information. Weakness? No. So listening to the chart, I'm going to do nothing. If that was high volume there, I might just close the whole thing, right? So that's fine. I'm staying in with my half position, no risk. I'm glad we got something today. I'm not here wasting anybody's time. You're learning and you're making money, right? And it's free. Shit, what a good deal. See, this is why I'm so obsessed with the 14 EMA. Why am I so obsessed with this damn moving average? Because this was key. This low volume on that moving average leading to higher closes was key. Look how low the volume was, right? Again, with these high and low volume points. Yeah, you see, whatever happens from here, right? When it comes to these high and low volume points, the higher the better when you're talking about high volume, and the lower the better if you're talking about looking for low volume. It is pretty extreme. It's pretty straightforward. I didn't love the long situation initially because this was pretty good as far as high volume strength. High volume strength, right? It's kind of losing it. It's still higher, but it's kind of losing it, right? But it's there to some extent. And the market generally was getting quieter, but it was there to some extent, but not really so convincing that popping out on high volume. But we're looking for imbalance and comparing that stuff to the test for supply here. Look at that low volume. So the chart's spoken. There's more buying than selling in this area, which means we're going to get here. From there, who the heck knows? That's exactly what happened. Now, still, I'm not seeing high volume weakness. And whoever's going short here, not us, but whoever's going short here is not in as good of a trade as they think they are. Right? This is trapping shorts. This is trapping shorts. It's not likely to come down. And if they're shorting here, dumb money, where's their stop loss? Oh, yeah. Remember that? It's all up in here. So we're likely going to pop up and kick those people out. This is dumb money short right now. They may get lucky, but probably not. Oh, this is so attractive if you don't know what's going on, isn't it? You got your downtrend to the left, right? Your trend analyzer 3000 is saying bearish. And then you have a resistance level that now looks like it's getting rejected. I mean, you think you're pretty smart shorting here, right? Not likely to work out. And this, it helped a little bit, but it didn't do much. It's the pound strength that helped us. It was straight up pound strength. Reason for the trade, right? And at this time of day, check out my last video. And at this time of day, that's a fine reason. Perfectly fine. Pound driven trade, half hour into US session? No. I want the US dollar to drive my trade. I wouldn't take that. But we're in the thick of London session. That's the focus. And the competing forces of the pound versus something that may be sideways or doing nothing, that's perfectly fine to bet on. If this was trending up strong, we wouldn't have liked that, right? But at least it was pulling back and kind of sitting around. But if this drops, let's say the pound strength is over and it just kind of, because those things tend to be short-lived. If the pound strength is over, but the US dollar weakness comes in, then off we go. higher targets. Win. Yeah, it's a dumb money short right now, isn't it? I don't even want this on my chart so no one misunderstands. This is the dumb money trade. This is what we want. What's going to be telling here? First of all, if you have my course, you know my method as far as entering in this pattern, and that this is the automatic rally, right? And just the way we pause and test for sellers at a 14 EMA, we're pausing and testing at the automatic rally. And this is taken from Wyckoff and applied to a 5-minute chart, and it works. So if we, right, what does this level represent? And why is it such a big deal that we can get there but not get through it, maybe? Because this marks the spot at which we switch over into an actual uptrend, right above here, successfully breaking that. That's when we're in markup phase, uptrend, whatever you want to call it. Smart money buying in such a way to push up price intentionally rather than looking for low discounts. They're done with that. If there's no supply, they're not going to expect that, would they? So lack of supply, lack of volume here leading to a break, right? And that's an entry if you hadn't entered yet, because that is likely to get to whatever's next, which is in this case a fib. And that in itself is an entry. Again, if you don't have my course, you know all this stuff. So it's doing its stop, pause, and ideally low volume test, which is what it looks like. It's nice that the indicator accurately says we're testing for sellers. It's red. It's usually right. It's been on today, color-wise. It doesn't matter. But that's a nice low volume test, right? If we saw high volume here, we're stuck. I mean, it tells buyers you're going to get another, you can accumulate more. You have too much supply here to try to push through, right? We don't have that problem. So again, it's leaning towards we're going to get more on this trade. But no risk on it, half in the bank, and I'm just listening to the chart.
Times they get rough sometimes. Everything it hurts inside. You search everywhere to find a sign. Try to read in between the lines. You're looking for some peace of mind. But that piece to the puzzle's hard to find. Everyone you thought you could trust, the soul starts to rust. You can't explain this hurt inside. You're not the type to wet your eyes. Instead you wanna run away and flee to escape your reality. There's a pressure building up inside. Everyone can see it on the outside. It's not like you could try to hide, 'cause you're no good at telling lies. Sometimes your soul's got
Okay, what else? Just being patient, listening to the chart. Anything else of interest? Did I just get rid of this stuff here? This is testing here, right? Testing for supply there. On a break test, 14 EMA. Initially here on the break test, I wanted the 14 EMA, but we have that here. Very often it does come together on a break test with the moving average. So that's testing for sellers there, clearly because of two levels, the support and resistance and the 14 EMA. This is testing for supply because we're at the automatic rally. We knew we'd get there, but then likely stop and see. This guy, also 14 EMA. So we're doing a nice... All right, and this is the inverse. So market is now testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3. And again, in these areas, the 1 minute can show you that detailed information about how much sell activity may have come in. You see it reject down. Volume doesn't look very high in the 1 minute chart. Not much supply at all. This, never mind that it's red, is a lower price showing activity. So if we get a result of moving up off of that, then we're going to blow through that, right? So we have lack of sell activity here as the buyers paused and test. And as soon as we got into some lower prices, we got activity to stop that move. So we do see some buying right here and lack of selling. We actually have an imbalance to the upside right here, don't we? So likely to break out, or at least try to. Right now. Yeah, hopefully. Scalp entry on AU, Wixie says. Looks all right. I'm going to be long pound and short AU at the same time, huh? That does look all right. Likely going to do that, huh? Pretty good look to it as far as the widespread, right? The small, and then the pulling away. No high volume off the low. It's a fake break pattern. The only thing going against you, but no volume on that as far as strength. So that's all right. Not much of a box to draw on there. Bar there. I'll observe it for the moment. I'm not jumping in that. I see why you're saying that. We can see where maybe where this closes.
Sign up for YouTube Premium. You can watch
All right.
videos ad-free. Download them to watch
Kind of at the low of the area.
and keep them playing even while you multitask in other apps.
See if we can again start to push down.
Sign up for YouTube Premium and get all your videos ad-free and offline. Try YouTube Premium for 1 month on us.
Yeah. I mean, that was, again, like I said, getting in. That was betting on the pound being strong. Besides that, there isn't much definitive stuff going on with the US dollar. Breakout? No. Fake breakout? Come down? No. Right? Now we're just kind of, so as far as the dollar, US dollar driving that, could be better. I mean, as an isolated picture, yes, that is a short. Do we love it? Do we think the dollar really can move up? It's got its own nice little rejection of the 14 EMA. Not possible, huh? And then my pound trade goes to shit. Unless the pound stays really strong. It's not wrong. Is the Australian dollar particularly weak? Not particularly. A bit. But yeah, I mean, along with that, if you're expecting this to happen, which is kind of starting to look like it is, right? I mean, if this happens, then yeah, the scalp will work out. You'll hit the target. Yeah. Up to you, Wix. I'll pass for the moment. For better or for worse, maybe I'll regret it. No regrets. Yeah, it's looking good. 95. You barely get 10 pips if you get to a fake break. Then you can maybe get away with a 10 pip stop. So yeah, not terrible. on that. Dollar index, yeah. Off of that, 14, yeah. Now, I'm a little mush brain because I want this to go up. I want this to come down. But it doesn't matter. I have no risk on the trade. And, yeah, if there's a setup and things are doing whatever they're doing at this point, you know, I'll pass for now. But there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, I'm actually out of that trade. Okay. I'm out of the GU altogether now. Okay, not a bad start. Hey, you, huh? EJ. EJ, I think it's going to move up. Let's see what's the reaction there. Yeah, lower volume the better. We'll see what happens. Could get a break test 14 EMA thing there after a nice break. Or generally a low volume breakout with strength in your background before a range. Push through the automatic rally. But yeah, I'm out of the GU. Well, I did at least what I needed to do. Minimal. Now we might flounder. Certainly no reason to go short. So, you know, you could maybe down here end up seeing strength again and do it again. And maybe it breaks out, maybe it doesn't. But it could set up for a similar trade again. Since we're not seeing weakness, we don't have to worry about that. It was initially good as well, not seeing weakness. What do I want to do? So like I said, I'm out of the pound. I don't have any other trade on. A small win. First trade of the year. Yay. Thumbs up. 98% win ratio in the live streams. Check the numbers. It's probably something like that. I literally don't remember a loss in the last few months. Maybe there was one. I don't know. I think we got it down, guys. I think we know what we're doing. What happened to Troy? Last thing I said to Troy was, can we stick to the method in the Discord? And he didn't respond and he disappeared. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird, guys. I do it live. I make the money live. Who else is doing that? And people want to fiddle around. Call me arrogant or something, right? Remember that guy, Mark? I'm arrogant because I don't listen. So I'm winning trade after trade after trade. Shouldn't I be arrogant? Shouldn't I block out anything you say at this point? Didn't I tell people, why are you experimenting? Why are you doing something different? I don't get it. Man, if I was struggling to trade and I saw somebody calling it like that live and explaining it all, right? Wouldn't you just be like, okay, what the hell is this guy doing? Let me figure this out. Let me learn this. And it's weird, man. I mean, that most people do. But then you have these people that are like, I don't know, they want to show off or something, some competition. And Troy seemed to know what he was doing as far as results, but I never understood why he took a trade. Honestly, I just never understood. Why did you get into that trade? Like, I couldn't get a clear explanation. You know, I'm not saying anything negative or positive about him. I couldn't understand why you took that trade. And then just to keep posting charts without any explanation of why you're taking these trades. I don't know. Weird to me. Just learn this. Everybody just learn this, right? It works. Okay, good. You guys are. Wixie, I know you are. Learn Joe Mama. Learn these. EJ off and running. Did you take an EJ trade? Oh, there you go. Good one. Is that a euro-driven move? No. It's a weak yen-driven move. Weak yen. Okay. That's a lot of volume on that, though. You better have a proper reaction so it doesn't come in as weakness. Nice one, John, though. Wixie, my personal observation, I think he's following the SMC method. What does that stand for? I don't know what that is. His trades look like it. Yeah, honestly, I'm not trying to talk any poop about him. I'm just saying, like, he'll say, oh, you know, thanks, Pete, for all this stuff. And then I don't understand how he's taking trades. And it looks like it doesn't have much to do with anything that I do. So I get very confused. You're thanking me, but it doesn't look like you're doing anything that I show. Honestly, I'm just confused. I'm not saying you can't trade or whatever. It's weird, right? D's trading. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm not like singling him out. Just use an example, and you know, like I'm showing something that works, and I show it live that it works. And it's weird when people just like as if they're trying to figure out their own thing or figure out something or doing something different and sharing it in my thing. It's just all I don't get it. What's the point? I mean, if somebody else is doing well doing something else, then start a Discord, maybe stream a little bit, teach what you're doing. That's cool. Nice one on the EJ if you caught that. Again, as long as it doesn't come in as a weakness, because all that volume is there. So if we don't close down, if we close up, then as a result of all that activity, it's likely a real break at that level. But yeah, that's the yen suddenly dropping. Everything moving up against the yen. Yen-driven move, which is fine any time of day. Dollar and yen-driven moves. 1 second. Put the music back. Probably end the session soon, though.
Turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023. Join Planet Fitness for one.
Sweet love, I guess you never really existed. Maybe in some kind of twisted way. Hey, what can I say? Life goes on and I gotta move on. And don't look back, no. I'll never look back. Can't get caught up in your booby trap. No, I gotta move on. Oh, can't get caught up in your booby trap. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Can't get caught up in your booby trap.
All right. Maybe I'll end the session. Yeah. That was a good first day back. This is a fire live stream. I'll definitely be back. Thank you, John Curry. Is this your first time here? Welcome, welcome. Join the Discord. Wixie. AJ 50 EMA fake break setup. What do you think? AJ. Fake break. That is not bad at all. If you particularly look at the lack of strength off of that last low. I'm surprised it even got this high. That is a nice fake break weakness. And yeah, Wix, if it comes to, you know what I'm going to do here on these setups. All right, you get your low volume test and look for that entry. And that's likely going to get you at least to that. Yeah. Weakness along with the basic background trend. And there's no strength down there. So that is not bad at all. Get your 14 EMA coming through. Low volume. Yep. Wait, where did I put my chat window? Okay. John, cool, awesome. Closing below 14 EMA is a must as you... Okay, yeah. And in this case, you know, which you probably already know, you want to see a low volume test there. The lower volume, the better on the 14 EMA, yeah. It's a test for buyers, test for demand, yeah. And you can find your little imbalance going on there to the downside, yeah. Correct Wix. Are you in the AU short, Wixie? Yes, okay. Confirmed entry was about here. So you're up about 7 pips, 6 pips, okay. Doesn't look like there's any issue. This guy trending up will help a lot. So yeah, let's see if it can break that high, and then you're good on your scalp. You get a little pop there, and there's your scalp target gets hit. Yep. Very good, very good. All right, I'll end the stream. It was a good first day back. At least we got something. Today I got to do stuff, so I won't be in the Discord very much. See how it goes. But today's like first normal day back, and I'm actually going to try to get some things done. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. Maybe we'll get the London hour trade tomorrow. That'll be nice to start off. EJ technically confirmed weakness, but if it's going to push higher and be successful at it, you're okay. Bit of selling. But yeah, I'll take that bit of profit for today and get to what I got to do this morning. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. Very good, very good. Good to be back. All right, guys. Hit the like. See you in the Discord. See you tomorrow. Have a good one.